Hello gainers, Ralphie here on location, beautiful sunny day, we always like them. Something about the sun, its warming effect, it just makes negative things more positive if there's negative things in our day. So I always advise you to get a little bit of sunshine wherever you are, wherever you can. But bear in mind, there comes a point where the sun gets too hot and we need to have that sensibility to know when we need either to put some sunscreen on or to find a little bit of shade. I prefer finding a little bit of shade. It's where you can view the contrasts between light and dark, and life is full of contrasts, and I'm going to introduce one of these to you and discuss it briefly, because there's something about food that we tend to take for granted, as we take so many things for granted. And it needs to be examined a little bit more closely, because there's been a lot to be learned about the way we approach food and treat food and identify food. It's a stoic thing, a philosophical thing, really quite an important thing, because in the long term it directly impacts on the quality of our life and the length of our life, because it's all about health. Food serves two purposes. One is nutrition and the other is entertainment. And when we walk into a supermarket, generally we're seeing a lot of food that is packaged and presented and processed and marked up for profit because it's being sold as entertainment. A classic example is breakfast cereal. When you look at a packet of breakfast cereal, you'll find that it's pretty simple in the ingredients it's using. There's a lot of sugar involved, there's a lot of wheat or corn involved, basic, staple, cheap, macro-industrial crops, heavy with the use of pesticides, herbicides, insecticides and all sorts of sides that tend to get digested by ourselves when we consume these products unwittingly, because we don't think about it, because we're not supposed to, because we're passively encouraged to view eating food, which we need to do to survive, as something that is satisfying us in terms of sensation and moorishness, in other words sugar and salt, and reaching this bliss point, which is the way they're packaged and presented by food chemists employed by food processors. So you have so much addictiveness put into certain food items, particularly in the form of sugar, which, let's be clear about this, is as addictive and as dangerous as cocaine and nicotine. And that's the fact of it. To eat a little bit of sugar is fine. It's a little bit of sweetness here and there, no problem at all, but right from the infancy, from when we start getting fed baby food, processed baby food, we start to migrate flavour, and the importance of flavour and nutrition gets put aside because there's that trigger sensation that is particularly prominent in sweetness, whether it comes from sugar, sugar derivatives or artificial sweeteners. And we passively grow up getting our breakfast cereal in the morning, eating our pizza in the evening, and all sorts of snacks and confectionery during the day, not realising, because the grown-ups don't tell us when we're young, they do not tell us this because they don't know themselves, that in fact the food consumption habits and addictiveness of food items is slowly killing us. It's leading to blocked arteries, which lead to coronary thrombosis, heart attacks. It leads to diabetes, and diabetes is of course linked to heart attacks, and both heart attacks and diabetes are inevitably linked and associated with cancers. And understand this is important, I'm just telling you because you need to know this. Cancer cells feed off sugar. They do. Do a search, you'll find it. This is scientific evidence, suppressed usually. So understand, gainers, for the Stoic philosophical approach, that You need to make a clear difference between food for nutrition, vitamins, trace minerals, raw carbohydrates, quality proteins. Whatever you eat in moderation so that you get proper full. And start with a boiled egg, an omelette, scrambled egg. An egg is one of the most nutritious foodstuffs on the planet. The yolk, by the way, has probably got more fat-soluble vitamins in it than any other food item, any other single food item. So it's doing our own search, taking charge of our own well-being. Because if we don't, someone else will do it for us, big pharmaceutical industry, and they'll do it for their profit, not for our welfare. Remember, they only make money when we're sick. It's not in their interest for us to be not sick, for us to be well. And I'm not being judgmental, I'm just saying it as it is. I'm just pointing out what is very self-evident. But eat for nutrition. Raw fruit, raw vegetables, properly processed, a bit of home cooking, and when you do so, you will start to discover flavour, real flavour. You will find the difference between a good flavoured carrot and a poorly flavoured carrot, because one is an industrially grown hydroponic carrot and the other's been grown in real soil. It has a higher mineral content, it simply has more flavour. Real flavour is always a useful point of reference to the nutritional quality of a food item. Whether you be a meat eater, a vegetarian, a vegan, it does not matter. Always eat for nutrition, and the more you do so, the more you will see the shortcomings of those, and in those, and from your own previous experience of when you've been eating for entertainment, for getting the sugar hit, the salt hit, understand this, I'm going to conclude in this. When we buy things that are sweetened, the sweetness is there to replace flavour, because flavour costs money to put into a product. Sugar's cheap as chips. It's very cheap. It's a macro-industrial, agro-intensive crop. Global as well, it's global. And whether it comes from sugarcane or beets, sugar beets, it doesn't matter. You know, it is so over-consumed and it is so directly negative in health. And the best way to address the sugar addiction is to focus away from entertainment. Sure, have a wee bit of chocolate now and again, no harm in that, but my goodness, you're going to feel the benefits in your health. You really, really are. I'm Ralphie, I'm done and dusted with this vlog. Pop back again and I'll be doing another one talking about, I've got everything in a list here. Let me see, I'm going to follow up in this. Food for medicine and medicine from food. So I hope you'll join me for that one, gainers. Thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Click likey, commenty, subscribey, etc. And I will leave you with this rather delightful coastal view by the Irish Sea, which is right behind me right now. And it's lovely. Thanks now.